quite honest, I've been on championship teams that changed captains, and it was never about the C. It was about the leadership group. I think that's really important for this team to it's not a, that's an earned position. That's not a given position.
Is it important for the room to have a captain sooner
No,
rather than later?
I don't. Yeah, I haven't even given it much thought. I talked to Brad about it a little bit, and it's really not that big issue. I think it's what's more important is the group itself, the leadership group, and I think with Gio, this organization was very fortunate to probably have, just off the top of my mind, like some great captains. When you look at it, even if you just look at the last two, Gio and Jerome. So, is there anybody in that class? Those guys were great captains because maybe they had guys around them too. So it's the next part. It's the evolution of this group and the maturity in terms of the age of it.
Move to the back room to Derek Wills from the Fan.
Darryl, last season you set expectations for the guys on the ice and off the ice. Were you happy with their off seasons and fitness testing and the first day on the ice?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me coming in is the communication you have with guys over the off season, knowing full well you're going to have a normal camp, as I said before. So there is a date on it. The next part is you go into them guys that had their surgery, Sean and Noah, and it's good to see them out there and being able to participate. That's really important. And then obviously with at least 7 new players, that's a big thing.
Go to Eric Francis from Sportsnet.
Can you just talk a little bit about the additions from the summer? Obviously, a lot of them had connections to you.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They have connections with winning and experience, and that's what it is, right? If you just look at the one line today with Brad and Luch and Trevor, so those have been the guys I have connections with, but the connection is they have 4 Stanley Cups. This organization needs that. Every one of those guys has an identity of being playing the way you have to play in the playoffs or have already had a lot of success at it. So clearly that's what we needed. Those guys all fill roles, and if you look at some of them guys too, they've won championships playing different roles. Other than Blake, who was in that, like they've won. Look at a guy like Trevor and went from playing on a top checking line to within a year playing on the fewer minutes than a 4th line. Guys accept roles and guys maximize their skill sets in their roles, and those guys were brought in here are all capable and have done that.
Salam Valji from TSN.
Hey Darryl, you spoke about Mark Giordano, and just on the ice, how do you try and replace his minutes and presence as a defenseman?
Well, we can't. There's not one player that does that. That's simple. But Gio's biggest contribution, quite honest, other than what you say you saw on the ice, was in the locker room and how popular he was. So is there anybody that's going to replace that? No. But at the same point, there are young players here. If you look at our team, it's a really young team, and Eric alludes to bringing those veterans in that have had a lot of success. Well, it's a really young team, and you talk about Gio. Well, it's a really young defense. One of the biggest problems this team had with expectations last year was there was a lot put on for five either young or guys that hadn't played in the NHL very much, if you look at it. So it's not one guy doing it. It's getting pairs together and seeing who can complement each other. And that's the biggest challenge, quite honest, that I think that I'll have during camp is it's not the forwards. It's pretty, if you're healthy and you hope that 2 or 3 of the younger guys push for those spots and take spots. But on defense is where you got to try and find the right pairs and see how it comes together.
Go back to Derek Wills in the back room.
Darryl, what has to happen as far as the process is concerned, getting from now to October 16th? How do you ramp up to hit the ground running to start the regular season?
I think it's broke up into probably 4 or 5 stages, Derek. It would be these first 3 days where it's basically the roster that was every one of those players other than 2 goalies were on full-time NHL rosters last year, so they're in one group. then there's the next guys that are knocking in the next group, and then for the most part junior kids and or guys that go to Stockton in the third group. So that's the first 3 days. Then we get into the preseason, which is 3 and 4 days. So you play back-to-back day, and then play again. It's 3 and 4, and then you'll probably do a cut down somewhere after that, and then you'll get into more of a probably a 30-man thing, and then we play the 5 games in the next 9 days after that, and then we don't play from Friday to Saturday. So it really breaks up camp the way it's just the way the games are scheduled and the way that the league starts in 12th and we don't start till 16th. So I think it's good the way it's set up.
Cami Kemke from Global TV.
Hey Darryl, so just talking a little bit more about some of those young guys with minimal NHL experience or haven't got there yet, they're coming out of junior. What can they do to impress you during this camp, and what's the window like for them to potentially crack the roster or earn a call-up?
Well, if you go through just looking at it, rookie camp, those guys are anywhere from 18 to 26. So 18 and 19s are going back to try and win Memorial Cups. So guys after that, there's guys on entry-level contracts or on tryouts here that are trying to make an impression or improve while they're at this camp. The next part would be the guys that have an actual opportunity to make the team. And if I do it by positions, I'm going to say that you need 15 forwards, you need eight or 9 defensemen, you need 3 goalies. So. Then you do it by position, and then you'll say, there's probably 2 or 3 centermen that have a good opportunity. There's probably 2 or 3 wingers that have a good opportunity, and there's probably 2 or 3 defensemen that have a good opportunity. So, when you break it out like that, it's a lot easier to see what you want, and then have them understand it.
So what do you want to see from those handful of players who have a real shot here?
See if they can play against the big boys.
Eric Francis again.
Just what's the rationale behind putting Coleman on that top line? What can he bring to that top line?
Not sure yet, Eric. I mean, we got to see through this how it works, but I think that Blake is not going to change the way he plays. That's number one. He's a 200-foot guy, and you know what you're getting, and so that'd be similar to Lindy as a centerman. And I think Matthew with those 2 guys will be a good fit. So we want to look at it, and that doesn't mean we're going to do it early because we've got to look at everybody. But I still think it's something as camp goes on. I really want to see if that's something that works.
Brendan Parker again.
Like captaincy aside, what do you like about your leadership group, the voices that you have in there?
Well, I think there's 3 or 4 guys that have been alternate captains for quite a while, and they're going to have to step it up, right? And that's not, that's kids that are coming off either surgery or off years, so that's good for them. I think that's a good challenge for them. The new guys coming in, so they're good people, so they can fit where they fit in that. I'm not sure, and I think you have Luch and Tanny that are, those seasoned, hardworking, honest, all the things that you look for. So I think it's a good group. So it's just how they all sort of put it together too.
To your left, Darryl, Haley Salvian from The Athletic.
Darryl, there were some changes to the coaching staff this summer. What do Kirk Muller and Cale McLean bring to your bench?
Well, Cale's familiar with the organization. Obviously, some of the younger guys, and he's coached a lot of the younger guys here. That's important. Kirk gives you an experienced guy, a real strong voice in the room.